Hello everyone, myself Baby Rani, working as Assistant Professor in MLR Institute of Technology in Cybersecurity and Data Science Department. Today I am going to discuss about data types in Python. Overview of the presentation is Python data types, mutable versus immutable, fundamental data types. In fundamental data types, again we are having numeric data types. In numeric data types, again we are having int, float, complex. Now, we go to the Python data types. So, in Python, there is no need of specifying the data type. Whenever you want to convert the particular data type into another data type, means typecasting, then only we have to specify the data type. So, in Python, we are having different data types are there, like C language, but here also, in Python also, we are having some different data types also defined in the Python. Those are dictionary, set, tuple, list. These four are the new in Python. Remaining all we seen in the C language as well as the Java language also. So, in the numeric data type, we are having three types: integer, complex number, float. So, in this session, we will go to discuss about integer, complex number and the float one. So, before going to the data types, we are segregating the data types into two parts, mutable one and the immutable one. If you are updating the value, if you want to modify the value, if you are modifying the particular value, it comes under the mutable. If you can't modify the value, means it comes under the immutable. So now we'll see the mutable. Mutable means we can change their content without changing their identity. Identity means we are using the variables. So A is an identifier. So A is equal to 10. So it is acting as a variable. So we are updating the value, we are modifying the value, means it comes under the mutable one. Next, immutable is nothing but so we can't change the values. Here there is no need of changing the values. It can't change the values, it can't update the values, it can't remove the single value also. That comes under the immutable. So here in Python data types, we are dividing the data types into immutable data type and the mutable data type. In the immutable data type, the data types are number, strings and tuples. In mutable data type, we are having lists, dictionary and sets. So, in mutable data type, we are seeing list. So, for example, in Python, if you want to declare a list, we have to use the square brackets. So, I am declaring my list A is equal to. So, in the list contain group of values. It is the what type of data it is. For example, it is the combination of data types. A contain the string data type, A contain the integer data type, float data type, whatever the data type. So, but it is declared in the list. If it is a list means we have to specify in the square brackets only. A is equal to, I am giving some values 1, 2, 3. If I want to update any value in particular list, in this list, I can update because it is the mutable one. List is the mutable one. So, with the help of square brackets only, we are identifying it is a list. For example, if I want to modify in place of 1, I want to update as a 10. So, the list, if you want to access any value in the list, with the help of indexing value, we can access. If you want to update the value also, with the help of indexing, we can update. So, I want to update the first value. In place of 1, I want to update as 10. So, A of 0 equal to 10. Means, in place of 1, I am assigning 10. So, now, if I am printing the A value means, print of A. It prints the value 10, 2, 3. So, this is called as the indexing. So, if you want to access a value in the list, with the help of the indexing, we are accessing. So, the mutable means we can update the value, we can change the value. Mutable means we can change their content without changing their identity. So, we are not at all modifying their identity. So, in the A list only, we are updated the value. But comes to the immutable. For example, tuple. So, how we can identify it is a tuple means, so here if you want to declare a tuple with the help of the normal brackets only, we are declaring the tuple. So normal bracket square. normal brackets. Here 1, 2, 3. So if I want to add, or if I want to modify, or if I want to update any value, it is not possible in the tuple. It shows an error. We can't add the new values to the tuple because it is an immutable one. In the tuple, we can't delete the single value also. If you want to delete the tuple means you have to delete entire tuple. So that's why it is the immutable. So the data types can be divided into mutable and the immutable. Now we'll discuss about the fundamental data types. In the fundamental data types, we are having numeric data types are there. So the numeric means number. So in the number, again we are having 3 types are there: integer, float, complex. So number or numeric stores the numerical values. So it contains the numbers only. So in the numerical data types, again we are having integer, float and complex values belong to the Python number data type. So Python supports the 3 numeric data types: int, float and complex. Now we'll go for the integer. So integer value can be any length. So we can take it as any length, crores also, because Python has no restriction on the length of an integer. For example, a is equal to 2222, whatever it is you can take. There is no restriction of the length. But in C, we are having restriction is there. That's why in Python, there is no restriction for specifying the value in the integer. So it's a value belongs to int, means a is equal to 5, means it is considering it as a integer. In Python, we are not specifying the what type of data. In C, if you want to define a variable, we have to specify the data type also. Int a equal to 5. But in Python, there is no need of specifying the data type. By seeing the value at the runtime, it understands what type of it is, what type of data it is. 5 means it is the integer data type. So here one example, a is equal to 5. If you want to print the a value, it prints 5. If you want to find out the type of the a value, so what type it is an integer type. So if you want to find out that, we are having the built-in function is there. The built-in function is type. So with the help of built-in function, we can find out the what type of data it is. For example, a is equal to 5.0. Type of a means it displays float, because after 5 it has the point value is there. Next, if I am specifying in the double quotations, type of a is string, because you specified in the double quotations. It is considering it as a string. So a equal to 5 means integer. A equal to 5.0 means float. A is equal to double quotations 5.0 means it is considering it as a string. So if you want to find out the what type of data it is with the help of the type function. Next one, float. Float is used to store floating point numbers. After the numeric number, point values are there, means we are considering it as a float. So it is accurate up to 15 decimal points. So after point, we have to specify the 15 points. So one example, b is equal to 20.55. So it is a float one. 20.5. It is also a float one. 20.1, 2, 3, 4, 4, 4. So on. Up to it takes 15 decimals. So if you want to find the type of a b value, it gives the float, because the value is 20.55. Next one, complex numbers. Complex numbers is combination of real numbers with an imaginary number. So it contains a real number with an imaginary number, forms a single entity known as complex number. So one example, 64-375 plus 1j. So the 64.37 is the real number, and 1j is the imaginary one. So that's why the complex number is combining a real number with imaginary number. So forms a single entity. So we are taking it as a one value. So we are calling it as a complex number. The complex number contain real number plus imaginary number. Real number and with an imaginary number. A complex number is ordered pair of floating point real numbers. So how we are representing the complex numbers is x plus yj. So x represents the real number, y represents the imaginary number, imaginary part. So in the complex, where we are using the complex numbers is everyday maths and engineering. In the electronics, we are using the complex numbers. So one of the example for complex numbers is 2 plus 3j. So if you want to find out the type of complex number is type of 2 plus 3j, it gives the complex. So the complex number is real part with real number with imaginary number. So if you want to, what are the numbers we are using in the real numbers means whole numbers, rational numbers and irrational numbers. And imaginary number, when you square it gives the negative result. I square means -1. I into I gives the -1. So the real numbers means, for example, 2 square, it gives the positive value only, positive result 4. But the imaginary, whenever you are performing the square, it gives the -1 result. Next one, complex number built-in attributes. So in the complex number also, we are having some built-in functions are there. We are calling it as attributes. If you want to print the only real number, if you want to print the only imaginary number, at that case, we can use these attributes. So complex numbers are one examples of objects with data attributes. So here num.real, for example, 2 plus 3j. This is my complex number. So num.real. So num is equal to, I am giving my variable name num equal to 2 plus 3j. If I want to print only real number means real part means, so print of num of real. So here num.real, we have to use that. So it gives the real component of complex number. Means the num is the, with the help of the, it is a variable, we can access the real part only. Variable dot real. The next one, variable dot image. So imagine, it gives the imaginary number, imaginary component of complex number. We can access the imaginary number. In this, imaginary number is 3. The next one, num dot conjugate, returns the complex conjugate of num. So we'll see one example here. So a complex is a variable. It is the complex data type because it contains the real part as well as the imaginary part also there. Minus 8.33 minus 1.47j. So 1.47 is the imaginary part, minus 8.33 is the real part. So if I want to print the real one, a complex dot real. With the help of the variable, we are accessing the real. So it prints the only real part, minus 8.333. Next one, if you want to print the imaginary part, a complex dot image. So it prints the imaginary, minus 1.47. The next one is the conjugate. So if you want to print the entire number, so it prints the real part plus imaginary part. It prints with the help of the conjugate. Real part displays the real number, imaginary part displays the imaginary number, and the conjugate part displays the entire complex number. So in this session, we discussed about what is the data type, where we are using, and what are the data types in Python. What is the difference between mutable and the immutable? So what are the data types in the numerical data types in float and complex? Next, Boolean data type. So Boolean data type is, it contains two values only. One is true and another one is false. So Boolean type provides two built-in values, true and false. These values are used to determine the given statement true or false. For example, if you want to find out a particular condition, whether it is a true or false, we can use the Boolean. So it denotes by class bool. If you want to find out the what type of data it is means, it gives the class bool. So for example, integer, what type of data it is means int. What type of class it is means int. In the same way, in the Boolean also, if we want to find out the data type of particular variable, it gives the class bool. So true can be represented by any non-zero value or t. So t or non-zero value. Next, whereas false can be represented by the 0 or f. So we can see the one example, type of true. So true is the Boolean value. If you are finding the what type of true is, means it is the bool type. So in the last session we discussed about the keywords. In the keywords, true and false are the keywords also. So in that, the T is the capitalized one and the F capital, it is a false also, the first letter is the capitalized. So means whenever you are using the true false, you have to use the capital T and the capital F. Then only it gives the correct result, or otherwise it is not considering it as a bool. So type of true, it is a small one. Name error, name true is not defined. So in the Boolean type, we are having two values only. One is the true. In that, the capital T is there and another one is false. The first letter is the capital one. So if you want to check the condition, we are using the Boolean. So if you want to find out if the two conditions are true, then only it will be true, means we can use the Boolean. So for example, if A greater than B or A equal to B, so if you want to find out the particular condition, print A greater than B or A equal to B. For example, I am giving A is equal to 100, B is equal to 200. So it checks the first condition, A greater than B, false. Or A equal to B, 100 equal to 200, false. False or false means it displays the false because the condition both are failed. If one of the condition is true, it displays the true only. So the Boolean types are used for checking the conditions.